Alrighty, it is the executive show. Let's welcome in Zaza Pachulia. Zaza, this is our first executive show. You had been doing it with a morning. I think what you'll find is we're more enjoyable than those guys, and you'll have more fun with us.
Absolutely, always, and thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited. I worked hard all the summer to be better, okay? I worked on my English, I worked on my accent.
Look at blah, blah. Nice. Hey, everybody who follows the Warriors knows that you and Klay are very tight. I think the whole Bay Area right now kind of feeling for him a little bit. Can you shed any light on kind of what Klay's going through right now and what he's fighting and how he's feeling?
Yeah, we had this conversation yesterday with our executive meeting. Now, first of all, I got to tell you, you always want to have a player in your team that wants to play, right? And it shows the emotions that, hey, I'm ready. I want to play. I want to get more minutes. I want to get more involved because he believes in himself. You've proven, right? But at the same time, you're trying to make the right decisions where, with not playing back-to-back, it's a long season. He's just coming up, to big injuries, and it's about being smart, right? Rather than the player who just doesn't care, right? So I think he's in a really good hands, first of all, I got to tell you. And I'm going to remind you guys that, he's the hug he had after winning the championship in Boston with Rick Scalabrine, right? So there's a trust factor, but at the same time, being a competitor, he wants to be on the court, and we all understand it, but it's about a big picture. It's about him feeling the best probably he can and have shown the best performance, right? So, he's in good hands, first of all. I got to tell you that, but, he has to stay patient and follow the process and plan we have for him. And everything's going to be okay. It's tough probably right now, but it's only going to get better down on the road. So,
Zaza, and we're joined by Zaza Pachulia. It sounds to me like he's on a minutes restriction, and you have to ramp him up over time, but you don't want to ramp him up too much because you don't want to have him have a setback. So he can't get it all at once. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely, and that's why I mentioned the plan that we have for him throughout the 82 games, and obviously hoping the playoffs and deep run, right? So that's our the objective, to look at as the whole season. And obviously it's not that easy that we might plan or talk and brainstorm. And, obviously we had the best performance team, in my opinion. And, that we can talk about so many facts and so we can bring so many examples, right? But again, they're pros. They know what they're doing. And, we trust Rick Scalabrine and his team, and we just have to be smart about it. But at the same time, the environment, the situation doesn't help where, social media and people talking about it. And obviously last week, he had the address as well, and people think that he's getting older and he's losing his game, etc. This kind of things doesn't help. That's why it requires the whole team, even like you mentioned, the friendship and even our conversation with him about really showing the big picture of what really matters, right? So, and that's the friendship I know, and trust me, we having conversations all the time, and that way it's gonna help you. We all need help. There's so many things coming at you in this world and in this environment, right? On and off the court, and that's why you need people around you, right? People, smart people, that way keep you accountable and keep your mind right? So it's very hard to achieve the goals and things, especially today's reality, by yourself. You need the right team around you. So, but he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay, and we're going to enjoy Klay's presence and on and off the court. And he's been an awesome guy for our organization, and he's been having an amazing career. That, trust me, there will be millions of people in this world would be in his shoe.
Yeah, just looks down right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand, but just because from outside it looks like, and I would agree with you, but there's a different kind of down to whatever you mentioned is because he wants to play.
Yeah,
and he wants to play and he wants to contribute, and especially when team loses, we're 3-5 right now, and you just don't want to accept it. And if he wants to have a 5-3, not 3-5, right? So, but like I say, even though he's a pro and he's an experienced guy, as a competitor, he just hates to lose, and I like the personality. Honestly, I'd rather have the personality as a manager versus someone who doesn't care. So I think we have with our coaching staff, with our front office, we have amazing people working, and that way we're gonna stand by him, and we're gonna keep reminding ourselves what really matters. And what matters is that being in a position to win a championship, something we have done for last decade, and we've been in many finals and we won many championships, right? So again, you gotta look at it as a big picture.
Zaza, you're a champ. You're a big man. You threw your body around, and last year the team won. But going into this season, because it's different like every season, it was supposed to be about the youngsters. They were going to go through some growing pains. But Zaza, a lot of fans, myself, I'm watching, it's only 8 games, short sample size, but I'm not seeing enough Wiseman. I'm not seeing Kuminga, some DNPs. Can you walk us through how that's helping Kuminga and Wiseman in their confidence, especially when the defense ain't maybe up to par and they're not in the game?
That's a really good question, and I definitely value and understand the question that's coming from the fan. As a fan, and somebody wants to see everything, happening the same day or in one game, right? But the reality is totally different. It's a process. You just mentioned we only played 8 games, and guess what? We got 74 more to go. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of repetitions, and the moments. The experience is not only in the game. Experiences is also when you're not in the game, right? When you're dealing with adversity, right? So how to handle, because life is not perfect all the time, and we heard from very, very smart people, successful people. You have to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So there's also life experience, right? So experience is needed on and off the court, and there's guys as the youngsters have to go through. I mean, just a simple stats I'll share with you guys. So this year, I think 43% of the players have been in the G League, right? Now, if you talk to any rookie, right, would you be in the G League or NBA? Of course, 100% also will be the NBA it is. But again, the importance of the process, it's so important, right? It's you got to look at 10, 15-year career, right? It's not about this year. It's about little wins, little victories, and that's going to lead you towards something special, something unique when talking about 10, 15-year plus careers, right? And then looking back, guess what? Looking back 10 years later, I said, wow, what a journey it was, right? So what I was thinking, we all have those kind of moments as an athlete, as NBA players, and I have those kind of moments too as a rookie, what I was thinking that I was asking for, hey, I need to play 30 minutes per game because I need to get better, right?
Right.
Now it's easy, but I understand the position too. That's why it's important to also have the right people on the coaching staff, right people on the front office who would understand these young guys, because their ambitions they have, right, the right egos they have, and also they want to play, and you can understand it, and it's a good problem to have.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on the Executive Show. We do this show every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Let me ask you this, and this is just a personal question. When you were coming into looking back, well, I know what you might say looking back, but at the time, you were drafted by Orlando?
Yes.
Okay. Would you, at the time, rather been drafted by a bad team and play, or a championship team and not play as much?
Great question. And I think there's not perfect answer. It's about making the things work, figuring out, right? So not everybody's story of success and, the case study of success, not the same. We all have different paths, right? So you can understand, especially today where there's such a high competition, and whole world is playing basketball right now, right? So we see the superstars coming from all over the world, from literally each continent, right? So competition is high. That's why it's G League, the 43%. The players have to go there because there's not enough space in the rosters, right? So the different approach, the paths are all different, but it's on you as an individual to be to be mindful, right, and to understand what's in front of you and to utilize it, make the things happen. And because if Steph Curry had a certain type of path, it doesn't mean that I gotta go through the same path. Or even like building the teams. Like, so many teams, in my opinion, making mistake of like, I want to have a team like Golden State Warriors. Right, but it sounds good, but it's impossible because like there's only one Steph Curry, there's only one Klay Thompson, right? So for that reason, I think you really have to understand, okay, where I'm at right now, what's my situation, what's around, right? So what's it like the short-term goals and the long-term goals, and they're all different. On that, for that reason. Again, if you're drafted by the bad team, when I say bad team, the young team, right, who's figuring out and developing players, think about development. Think about competition, inside competition you have there, and what can you add to your game, right? So you're gonna get the opportunity, but at the same time you have to. But while you're getting opportunity, you have to learn this game, right? You have to, intelligence. You're gonna increase the intelligence with the skill work, right? You have to really double down on individual development. But if you're drafted by a team like Golden State Warriors, who is about the winning, is that how can I fit in? Yes, I might be a high peak or, in the first round or second round. It doesn't matter how I can fit. Like, you know what? This team needs the defense, for example. So I'm going to lock in on this defensive end, right? While I'm also getting better at other stuff. And my time going to come. Again, you have to look at the big picture. But like I said, we always get back to, what I mentioned before. It's easier for me as 16-year-old dad, a little bit older, right, to see the things from here, right? And maybe it's not fair, but when you're young, you're just thinking about one thing, about I need to play, I need to put numbers on it because there's a process of in the beginning, that's all I care about. I need the first contract, right? So you're so anxious about it, but reality is we are professionals. Scouts and our front office people is awesome, amazing. So they're gonna see everything. Even though if you don't play, they're still gonna value your mentality, your hunger, your work ethic, and your discipline. To the details. We all see that, and it's not going away.
Zaza, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm on the outside looking in, and my partner and I and the fans got into a spirited debate yesterday, and it was about the big man James Wiseman, 7'1", 240, and right now it's obvious to everybody that watches you guys play, he's further ahead offensively than defensively. And I said, after hearing Dwight Howard, a guy at one point that was a dominant big man, 3-time defensive player of the year, could block shots, I said to myself, the Warriors have an open spot. Man, if he could just get to James and they could just maybe go to dinner in the gym, he could just show James the way. I got a lot of blowback. Oh, no, we don't want him here, and he's a joke now. But is there any validity to a guy like a Dwight Howard being able to, mentor a young man like James Wiseman?
I think we have amazing guys in this locker room, and I think we have, everything you can ask for. The veteran leadership, veteran leadership. We have superstars, we have mega stars, we have amazing role players, and we have amazing young talent. And most importantly, we have right leaders. Leaders on the court, leaders off the court, like Steve Kerr and his coaching staff. And I have so much faith in these guys. And come on, guys, we won the championship last year, so we shouldn't be even questioned, right? So we know what it takes to win a championship, and we know what it takes to develop the players, because that's what happened with Steph, Klay, and Draymond. Let's be honest, because they all came as a youngster. They were in the same position as James Wiseman was, as Moody was, as Kuminga was years ago. I think we're forgetting that. And this is the same leadership, same guy who runs, who controls the train, and Steve Kerr and his staff, and we all understand what it takes. It's a matter of the patience. It's a matter of the, time. It's a matter of the, being in the situations on and off the court and really learning like life lessons, learning, this importance of discipline, and, learning your opponents as well. I had so much conversation with James the other day after the Denver game, actually. Said, every night you're facing different type of opponent. We all have strength and we all have weaknesses. But if your mindset going to be, okay, I'm going to play the same way every single night, sometimes it helps, but like sometimes you need to make adjustments, right? Some centers are shooters, some centers are just screen and rollers, right?
Yeah.
So you have to know the tendencies, right? And with the repetition, that's how you get better. Just being disciplined and having the intelligence, using or playing with the intelligence, it's only already going to put you in a situation where, you know what, this kid can play, and now you add the skills, right? Now you add your offensive skills or defensive the skills. That's it. Then you're becoming a really good player, right? So, but without the time, it's just impossible to make the things happen overnight. And we can talk about so many examples. We can bring so many examples. But like I said, you got to look at it as like long-term deal.
Zaza, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy. Hold on, my guy's got one more question.
Zaza, we got some bad news for you. Let me tell you why. Last year, you, Barbosa, Kirk Lacob went and won the Warriors World Tournament. We had guys down dealing with COVID, but Zaza, we're going to be back. But Zaza, you and Barbosa, sit this one out.
Well, my guy Barbosa is gone. He's still in the Bay Area. I might call him and see if he's available to come, because that's a dangerous duo right there.
Oh,
Zaza, roll. Good luck stopping that.
Yeah, you and me going to be fighting for a rebound. Y'all watch for us, Zaza.
As Stephen A. Smith would say, you better be careful. You get hurt in a game like that, Zaza.
Well, this old school mentality.
Nice.
People are shifting like right away. This new reality, like you can't be physical, and I'm pretty sure deep inside of our hearts, we all miss the 90s basketball, right?
Yeah.
Physical and more intense.
Exactly. All right. We'll catch up with you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.